Welcome to my opposing force tutorial. So if you watch the setup video, you should be able to write run in the console to start a run every time. And the first trick of the game is actually getting out of this room while the screen is still black. And the easiest way to do it and practice it is to use a BXT feature called BXT_fade remove 1. So every time you press P, you're gonna be facing this way exactly. And all you have to do is to hold W, then you press D, and as soon as you listen to this door opening, you press W and D, and imagine yourself getting out of the room as you turn your mice smoothly to the right. So forward, D, W and D, and I turn to the right like this. This will take you a lot of practice, but it will help you to create this muscle memory to get out of the room. So WD, and I can like do another jump to the left like this. So it will look something like this without the fade removal. You cannot use this in runs, by the way. That's why it's only possible to use this for practicing. So
3, 4.
It's really easy to hit like poles or whatever, but don't worry. Practice makes perfect. So some smooth bunny hopping, get the suit. Okay, so first thing about Otis, you want to kinda talk to him after his second eagle shot and get to this corner just so he hits this trigger really fast. And to make NPCs turn faster in this game, you need to change your FPS value. And here's something you really need to know about frame rate in this game throughout my entire guide. So in 2013, Valve introduced a bug with FPS max values. And all you need to know is that if your game is from 2013 or later, you do have this bug. And the bug essentially adds 0.5 FPS on top of whatever frame rate you type in FPS max. So if you want to reach 100 FPS, you need to type 99.5. And to check what frame rate your game is actually running at, you can use net_graph3. As you can see, my game is running at exactly 100 FPS because I typed in 99.5. And to know if your game is from 2013 or later, all you have to do is to type version in console. Then you look here, exe build. Mine is from 2017, that's why I need to worry about this 0.5 FPS issue. If your game is from from 2009 or before that, you don't need to worry about this. This is really important. You don't need to worry about this. You can just type straight up just 120 or whatever value I need you to write here. Okay, so let's start with 20 FPS. So let's make bind z space FPS_max 19.5. This will make my game run at 20 FPS. And we need another bind to go back to 100. So bind c FPS max 99.5. So Otis will now turn faster after shooting the zombie, and he will also turn a bit faster here at the scanner.
Maybe I should guard that closet over
So okay, so you press C again to go back to 100,
Good luck, sir.
and here there's like several ways of doing this room. You get the wrench, you can avoid the lasers here by jumping over it or whatever. So there's a def trigger here. You can make a save here and W and A here to pre-strafe and jump on top of this, like W and A and crouch. It will take you some practice, but you can easily just avoid this F trigger. And if you don't really like doing that, you can jump on the end of this laser. There's like a small brush you can jump onto, and you just jump around the F trigger. That's one way of doing it. And there's like a optimal way of doing this by doing a jumping sequence where we basically land one jump here, another one in this corner around here, and a third jump here. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, so oops. It will look something like this. Oh snap. Yeah, something like this. Alright, so moving on. It's okay if you take damage from the toxic waste here. Now, to go up faster in the staircases or like everywhere that has a wall right next to you, you can wall strafe. You can press like W and D. You can see I go up faster here in the staircases. And if the wall is to the left side, I press A and W. And I always look, I try to look like to the inner side of the wall like this. You can see my speedometer goes up to like 450. Ideally you can get like up to 480. So you can try it out, but yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as you're getting like 450 or something. Okay, so this is the most complicated map of the entire run. There's like 3.5 ways of doing this. The fastest way is by doing a jump bug and go like directly into the end of this level. But as you can see, there are some death triggers that will instantly kill you if you touch it. And the trick is really hard. I made a special video talking only about it. You can check it. I'll try to link it under the video description. I don't really recommend it if you're a beginner in the Half-Life series, or if you're really just trying this game for the first time. Really stressful and really precise. Now, let me think. I'll teach you like the easiest way, which is the helicopter skip. So we jump here. If the head crab hits you, doesn't really matter. Fall straight here. Okay, so make a save around here. Now, there is like 2 blocks here that will basically hurt you, but not instantly kill you. But this wall here will actually kill you instantly. And the idea here is to climb up the shopper and jump and crouch to get on top of this edge here, and turn and jump around this brush. So let me do it. Oops. So jump and crouch, turn and jump around it. This will take you some practice, but it's easy to do. So, okay, that's one way of doing it. If you have some Counter-Strike KZ experience, you can do a precise pre-strafe here and do the cliff skip, which will look something like this. It's really hard to get it, by the way. So I also don't recommend this if you're a beginner in the game. You basically surf off this cliff and you end up here on top of this small house or whatever. And there's a backup to this that you can also do if you're not getting enough speed. You basically hold D and you surf up until you get here. So you can actually stand on the side of this cliff and you can wall strafe and jump to reach this house here. That's like one way you can do it. So continuing out of bounds to get HP and armor and to the ladder. So here all you have to do is to tap S once and you're gonna grab the ladder here. Easy. Okay, so here's a secret in case you want to play single segment, a category that doesn't really allow you to save and load. If you turn closer to the right side of this corner, a Vortcan here will take longer to attack you, so you can charge your range by pressing mouse 2 and kill the Vortcans. But in case you're not fast enough and he's about to attack you, you can save and load. This will reset his animation. Now you jump here and you hold a strafe key against this corner, and here's the thing, there's a glitch that can make you fall really fast, and you never know if you're gonna get this glitch or not, so the way to prevent your death is to actually double tap it. Like, see, I had the glitch there. So I just tap D again, and now I don't have the glitch anymore, I can just land here. You want to reach this trigger here to start a cutscene, and I want you to write down a really important bind, not really a bind, a command called HUD_fast switch 1. This will make sure you press 1 and 3 and switch between weapons faster in case you only have one weapon in the slot. Because normally it's set to 0, so you have to press 1 and confirm. See, press 1, confirm, 3 and confirm. This is very slow. So set HUD_fast switch to 1 if you can. Another important thing, not really important, but to like stop sounds that like buzzing and stuff like that, it's really annoying. So you can make a bind like Alt to stop sound. So you can essentially cancel any sounds because this game has some loud, annoying sounds, that's all. So all you have to do is to wait this scripted sequence, there is nothing you can do to speed this up, so just stand here. It's always good to make some saves every now and then. Okay, make a save before doing this jump, because sometimes you can hit like a small ledge there and not really jump. Alright, so here's a great tip about doors in Opposing Force. They all have like this format and they open from like the bottom part and they rise up. It's always faster to crawl underneath it, like this. Alright, so reaching this lift, you want to get to the right side of it, so that you can do a pre-strafe to the left with some more space. So make a save here and pre-strafe to the left and do some bunny jumps reaching this button. You can see in red the hurt trigger. You can see it's like a bit smaller than the actual size of the toxic waste, so you don't need to worry too much about it. So the easiest way is to open this and wait it out for the thing to open here, and you can just bunny jump. In case you get hit, because you fail like turning or you hit your head against the door, you should actually reload, because you actually need the armor and the health. So just do that and bunny jump to the end of this. Alright, so you reach this part. And in case you want to speed it up a bit, you can do a object boost. And before that, about the armor, 15 armor is enough in case you did the shopper skip or the cliff skip. You probably already have armor. In case you don't, you can grab this. If you did a jump bug, you probably need this armor. But if you already have 15 armor, don't grab this. So you press S and use, and the box goes like around here. And you want to stand here as well, because you can actually interact with this box even though you're not actually facing it directly. So the way object boosting works, it's hard to get into details, but the game is running at 100 FPS, and you need to use this box for like around 10 to 12 frames. So you press your use key and like D to go to the right, and you release your use key after like 10 to 12 frames. And after you release your use key, you actually want to jump. I have jump on my mouse key, so I'm gonna do something like that. I got like a really big boost. I kinda don't want to get hurt, so you can practice how fast you do this by getting the hang of it. I'm gonna leave a video explaining object boosting, because it's not really beginner friendly and it needs its own tutorial, so I'll leave one under the video description. So reaching here to jump, and you hold your jump key to shark, and when you reach 250 units per second, you release your jump key and just strafe. Get here, wall strafe, and start jumping. You shoot a barricade, just so the robot can start his scripted sequence. You get back here to get the grenade and the pistol ammo. Alright, so here's another good moment to press the Alt key to stop the sound. And because this is some kind of NPC, you can actually lower your FPS to make him turn faster and technically making the scripted sequence end faster, but last time I timed this, I could only make it go 100 milliseconds faster, which is almost nothing, so it's up to you if you want to lower FPS. Okay, so going down here, you can actually land in this box with some safety. The developers made this thing huge. And press this button. So you jump here, and as soon as the pump reaches this line, you can actually pre-strafe and jump safely. You can jump without taking damage. Okay, so there's two ways of doing this. The first way is basically waiting it out. When this line goes here, you can just long jump and press use and go up. And the other way is to lower FPS to 20, jump using your spacebar or like your mouse 2 key. Don't actually scroll, because the game tends to eat like most of your inputs. You can see on my screen I'm scrolling, but I'm not actually jumping. So use your spacebar to jump, and then after jumping you want to crouch, just so you take your feet off the ground, or like you staying there for longer. So let me demonstrate. So 20 FPS, jump, crouch, and press the use key. As you can see, I lost like a bit of armor, but that's okay. I actually just want to make sure I have 100 HP. So here's one thing, you want to jump out of this elevator, because if you don't, you're gonna get stuck like this. And in case you cannot do like bunny jumps, you can just press A and D like this and breeze strafe. And here's a pro tip about this jump. Always make sure you save before doing it, because it's really common to actually get stuck and fall down. And you want to hit this trigger just to finish this chapter. And I think that's about it for now. I'll see you on the next video.